Hi team, greetings everyone. In our previous session, we saw the concept called as depends on script, where we can give dependency between two different scripts inside a same module, right? In today's session, we are going to see a new concept called as data-driven testing. What is this data-driven testing? Now, when I want to give the data to a particular script, now this is my script, verify if user is able to log in into ShopperStack application, right? I'll just navigate into this script. So here if you can see, this is my script. Now I want to give the email ID and password to this particular script in order to log in as a user, right? So here this email ID and password is a data, right? How do I give this? In the form of variable, right? When I click on the second step, if you can see, this email ID is a variable, and if I click on this edit variable, which will allow me to change the particular value, right? Now let me just cancel this. So this is what we were doing. So I have this test development, I have multiple scripts written. Now if I want to change the value of a global variable, where can I change it? So here if you can see, we have configuration, right? Just click on this configuration where we have a separate concept called as variables. I'll just click on this, which will navigate me to project environment variable. As I already told you, project environment variable cannot be edited or deleted. They are default variables which are created, right? Now let me go to global variables. So here if you can see, these are the global variables which I have created in my project. If I want to edit or delete them, I can, right? The one which I created, the defaults one I cannot. If I want to change the value of this username and password, what I have to do? I have to go to that respective variable and I have to change the values, right? Now if I want to change the value of a local variable, then what I have to do? I have to go to test development. Then I have to go to automation script. Then I have to go to variables. And then if any local variable is present, I can change the value. So each and every time I have to navigate to the project and then I have to navigate to the particular script and change the values, right? So here I am dependent on this particular scripts and this particular project. Now what I will do, I will create an Excel sheet, right? I will create an Excel sheet. I will store the values here. I will store my credential. So this is my email ID and I will give my password also. So I have given my email ID and password in this Excel sheet. Now, instead of giving the value for the variable, what I will do, I will read this data from this Excel file. I will read the data from the Excel file and I will store it in my automation script. Why do I need to do this? Now, if I want to change the value, do I need to come to individual script level? No need, right? I'll just open my Excel. I will change the value here, which will automatically reflect in my automation script. Why? Because I'm reading the data from this Excel sheet only, right? So what I will do, I'll change the value here. So whenever it is going to read the data, the value is changed. So the changed value will be written and it will be used in the automation script. So here, don't you think the data maintenance becomes easier, right? If I have used a local variable in my scripts, say for example, here how many scripts I have 7 scripts, right? In my 7 scripts, I have local variables. So in that case, what I have to do, I have to go inside each and every individual script to change the value of that particular local variables. But if I read the data from this Excel sheet for all the local variables, what I have to do, just open the Excel sheet, change the data. So once the changes are done in this particular Excel sheet, the same changes will be reflecting in the automation script as well, right? Here, my data maintenance becomes easier. Am I correct? So no need to go inside each and every individual script and change the value. Just open the Excel sheet and change the value, which will automatically reflect in your automation script. So this is why we use data-driven testing. And when I say data-driven testing, only using Excel can we achieve it? Not like that. So we can use property file, we can use CSV file, we can use PDF file. Multiple files are supported in FireFlink platform. We will see one by one in our further sessions. In today's session, we are going to see with respect to Excel sheet, right? I will store the data in the Excel sheet and then I will read the data from the Excel sheet. right? So now this is my Excel sheet and I have stored the data. So here I know this is username and password. So what I will do, I'll just give a name for it. So I'll just say this is email. In the adjacent cell, I will store the value @gmail.com. And here I'll say this is password. And here I'll give the actual value. So that anyone seeing this particular Excel sheet can easily understand this is my email ID and password, right? And here I will just save this first. I'll just click on save. I'll just save this in the documents. So I will keep the name as credentials. I'll just click on save. So this particular Excel file is stored in my local machine, right? Yes. Now, if I go to the individual script, so when I want to access the web elements, when I say web elements, this email text field, password text field, login button, home link, how do I access these elements? From the repository, correct? If I store these elements in the repository, then I can access those elements in my automation script, right? Without storing any web element in my repository, can I access the elements in my test development or inside a particular script? Is it possible? No, right? I have to store that elements in the repository, then I have to access them in my automation script. Now, this Excel sheet which we are viewing, right? This is present in my local machine, which is nothing but my computer. How do I access this Excel sheet in my FireFlink platform? Now, for that, we have a separate section called as test data. So I have to inform my FireFlink that there is an Excel file present. So how do I do that? I have to go to test data. In test data also we follow a tree structure where you cannot directly upload a file. First you have to create a folder. I'll just click on this plus folder and here I'm going to give the name. I'll just say shopper stack. And let me just click on create. So here shopper stack folder is created. Now can I add the file? Yes. Just click on this add button, add file, and we have to choose the file. I'll just click on this choose file. I'll go to documents and I'll select my file and I'll click on open. So as I told you, one not only Excel file, PDF file, property file and CSV file, multiple files can be uploaded for data driven testing, right? Now let me just click on upload. So once I click on upload, if you can see under this shopper stack folder, we have a file called as credential. Okay. Now I want to change the data which is present in this particular Excel sheet. How do I change it? So for that, if you can see, I have this credential Excel file which is present in my local machine, right? What I will do, I'll add one more credential. I'll just say user B. So same email and password. So here I'll just say, I'll just store the email ID of my user B. And I'm storing the password as well, right? So my user B email and password also I have saved, but this particular save data is present in my local machine. How do I make these changes available in my Excel sheet which is present in the cloud platform? Because as of now we are accessing the cloud version of FireFlink, right? So this data will be uploaded to our cloud storage, right? Now I want to update the data in this particular Excel sheet which is present in the cloud storage. This Excel sheet is different and this Excel sheet is different, right? This is present in my local machine, whereas this Excel sheet is present in the cloud. I have made the changes to the Excel sheet which is present in my local machine. I have to upload these changes to the cloud platform. How do I do that? So here if you can see, we have a replace option, right? So first thing, let me just go to the local machine. So here I have the Excel file. Let me save this and let me close this, right? Now here we have an option called as replace. What I will do, I'll just click on replace. So here again I will select the same file which is having the updated information, right? I'll just click on open. So once the file is replaced, you will get this success message, right? So here we have the success message. Now if I download this particular Excel file, I'll just click on download. This Excel file should have the updated information. Am I right? Yes. Let me go to downloads. See, this credential file is present in my downloads. Let me open this. See, it is having the updated information. So this is how you can easily update the data in the Excel sheet in FireFlink platform. Okay, now I'll just close this. I'll just go to FireFlink platform. Again, if I want to add one more data, what I have to do? First, open the file which is present in your local machine and make sure they are having the same name, right? So here I'll just click on enable editing. I will add one more data. I'll just say user C. So here again, I'll just copy paste this. I'll just paste this. So here I have to change the email ID. I'll just say user c@hotmail.com. So this is my user C credential. Now this update is done in my local machine, right? How do I upload these changes? First, save the local machine file, close it. Now go to FireFlink platform. So here we have an option called as replace, right? Just click on this replace, select the file. So now I have updated the changes to the file which is present in my downloads, right? I'll go to downloads, select the file and open the file. Once the file is replaced, you will be getting the success message. Now this particular Excel file is having 3 different datas: user A, user B and user C, right? So this is how we can change the data which is present in the cloud platform, right? Now this download icon is to download the Excel file and this replace icon is to replace the Excel file with the updated information. And we have delete. So if you want to remove the Excel file, you can use delete option, and we have this more option here. I'll just click on this where we have details as well as clone. If you want to see the details of the Excel file, I'll just click on it, which will give me the details of that particular Excel file. Project name, path, created by, created on, modified by, modified on, all that information will be available, and we'll have the option to download here also, right? I'll just close this. Now the one more option is clone. If I want to make a clone of this particular Excel sheet, I can make a clone of it, right? So this is how we uploaded data to the test data section, right? Now let me just go to test development. Let me go to the login script. So here I have to enter this email ID, right? So before entering the email ID, I have to read the data from my Excel sheet, right? Let me open that Excel sheet. Let me go to download. This is the Excel sheet, right? See, this is the Excel sheet and the data is present in the same fashion, right? Now what I will do, I'll just minimize this. Let me go to FireFlink application. Now, before entering the email ID, I have to read the data from the Excel sheet, right? And I have to store it in a variable, and that variable I have to pass it here, right? So, I'll add one more step here. Before entering the email ID, I'm going to add one more step here, right? I'll just click on this add button. I'll just search for Excel. So once I search for Excel, if you can see, I have multiple Excel NLPs where I'll be using this particular NLP. Get cell data from row index, column index. I want one data based on the row index as well as column index, right? Now what I will do, I'll just click on this NLP. It is asking for file path. The file is present in my test data section, right? I'll just click on this file path. Here it is only suggesting me shopper stack credential. Now how come I'm getting this suggestion? Because I have uploaded this file to my test data section. If I'm not uploading the file to the test data section, is it going to give me the suggestion? No. You have to upload the file to the test data section, then only this will give you the suggestion, right? This is my Excel sheet, right? I'll just select it. Here it is asking for sheet name. Okay, let me open the actual Excel sheet. What is the sheet name I have here? I have it as sheet 1, right? So I'll give the sheet name as sheet 1. So here I have to give the row index and column index of the data which I want to read, right? I'll go to the Excel sheet, and here, which is the data I want to read? This email ID, right? What is the row index of it? So in Excel, the row index and column index, since it is an index, it will always start with 0. So this email ID is present in 0th row, and it is present in 0th column and first column. So it is present in 0th row and it is present in first column. This data, if you can see, this data is present in 0th row and first column. So my row index is 0, my column index is 1, right? So here what is my row index? 0, my column index 1. And here this step, so here if you can see, when you see this, what is the meaning of it? This NLP is going to return as something. What this NLP is going to return as? See, what is the use case of this NLP? To read the data from the Excel. This NLP will go to this particular Excel sheet. It will go to sheet number 1. It will go to 0th row and it will go to the first column. And what it will fetch? It will fetch the value of this particular cell. And what is the value of this particular cell? Email ID, right? So this email ID it is going to fetch. And it is going to return as the email ID. I have to store it inside the variable, right? Here I have to create a variable. What variable I can create? Since this NLP is going to fetch the email ID, I will create the variable name as email ID. And let me just click on this, create as a variable. So here I will create it as a local variable only. And do I need to give the value here? Not required, because this NLP should fetch the value and store it here, right? I'll just click on create. See, the email ID variable is created. I'll give the if else checkpoint and click on add, right? Now this NLP will store the data into the variable called as email ID, right? That email ID variable I have to pass it here in my third step. I'll just click on my third step, and here see again same email ID variable is there, but this is global variable. And how do I say that? Let me just click on this view variable details. So here if you can see, this is holding the value. So did I create the value? Did I give the value while creating this variable? No, right? I'll just click on this close button. Let me remove this and let me call the local variable using dollar symbol. So here if you can see local variable email ID. Let me call this, because this is the variable which I created to store the value, right? And this is the email element which is present in that particular page. So if else checkpoint is the same, I'll just click on update. So here what I am doing in the second step, I am reading the data from the Excel and I am using the same data in my automation script. So here whenever I want to change the email ID, what I have to do? I have to just go to my Excel sheet, change the data here. Since I am changing the data here, what is going to happen? That changes will be applied to this particular script. Why? Because I am reading the data from that particular cell. If I change the data in that particular cell, automatically this data also will change, right? In the same fashion, I have to pass the password also, right? So again, what I have to do? I have to click on the plus button. I have to add one more NLP, which is the same NLP Excel. And if you scroll down, we'll be having an NLP called as get cell data from row index and column index. Select this, give the file path, give the sheet name. So row index is, now again I have to see the Excel sheet. So row index are the password now. So row index is 1, column index is also 1. So my row index and column index is 1 and 1. And what this NLP is going to return me? It is going to return me the password, right? What I will do, I'll create a password variable. I'll just click on create as variable. I'm not going to give the value. I'll make it as local variable. Let me just click on create. I'll give the if else checkpoint. It's the same. I'll just click on add. This will read the password from that particular Excel sheet, right? I have to go to my step number 5, remove this variable whichever I have used. Now call the local variable which I created. This is the variable, right? I'll just give the if else checkpoint. Let me click on update. So in my 5th step, what I am doing, I am entering the input which is fetched from the particular Excel sheet, right? So now let me run this particular script and let us see the execution, right? I'll just click on this run settings. Before that, let me make sure my FireFlink client is open. See, my FireFlink client is open. All the ports are in stop condition, right? So here, let me go with quick run settings to make sure my machine is selected as a default settings. See, my machine is selected as default, and here let me give 2 seconds delay. See, that is also made as default. So I need to click on quick run settings. You can directly run on the default settings only. I'll just click on this run, which will navigate me to the execution dashboard. Let me sync the status. See, it's already running, which will trigger the execution. Now the ShopperStack application has to log in with user A credentials, right? We'll just observe the execution. So it is navigating to ShopperStack. So it is navigating to the login page. Now it has to enter the data by reading the data from the Excel sheet. See, it is entering the user A credential now. It should read the data and it has to click on login. It has to verify home page and then it has to close the browser. See, it is done. I'll just sync the status. Now I want to change the value of that particular local variable which I created. Email ID and password. Do I need to go inside this particular script? Not required. Just go to Excel sheet. See, this is my Excel sheet, right? First, let me close this. I will open the Excel sheet which is present in the downloads. See, this is the Excel sheet. I'll just open this. Now, I am going to change the value here. So, I'll give the email ID of my user B. Now, I have made the changes to the Excel file, but how do I upload this? For that, what I have to do, first save this file, close this, go to FireFlink platform, test data, here use replace option. Click on replace, go to downloads, select the file, make sure the file name is same, right? I'll just click on open. So once you click on open, the replace is already done. So now the file has been replaced successfully, right? Which is having the new data. So now what I have to do, I have to go to test development and I have to go to the individual script. Let me run the script now. I'll just click on the run settings. So it is saying acknowledgement. I'll just say sync. Now it is running, right? So the execution has been triggered. For each and every step, it will take 2 seconds delay because that is the default settings. Now this time the execution should happen by entering the user B credentials, since I have changed the data in the Excel sheet. Right, now it has to read the data and then it has to enter the user B credential. See, now the user B credential is entering. Did I make any changes to the existing script? No, right? I made the changes to the particular Excel sheet. Then the Excel sheet means the data is getting automatically changed. Since that email ID and password is not valid, it is not navigating into the particular home screen. So if it is not navigating to the particular home page, this particular script will obviously fail. So the point is here, I am not going inside the individual script level. I am just going to my Excel sheet and I am just changing the data, and the same data I want to reflect in my Excel sheet which is present in the cloud. So for that, what I have to do, I have to just replace the Excel file. That's it. Right? This is called as data driven testing. So whenever we want to store the data, store it inside the Excel sheet or any external file and read those data from the Excel file or the any external file and store them into the automation script. So that what happens, whenever you want to change the data, what you can do, you can just go to that Excel file and you can change the data, which will automatically reflect in your automation script. Here the data maintenance becomes very easy. So in today's session, we have seen data-driven testing with respect to Excel, and here we are reading the data. So we can write the data also into the Excel file, which we will see in our further sessions. Thank you.